Mt Shasta is not just any mountain. Imagine hiking to the peak of this massive volcano. Halfway to the peak, you spot what looks to be an out-of-place boulder. The image burning in your brain, you decide to go back and check it out. Looking closer, you find the boulder can easily be moved and rolled out of the way, revealing the entrance to a cave. Would you dare to enter? Would you have the guts to be the one to discover a lost underground city? Well, today we explore the tale of one such adventurer, a man named J.C. Brown. His tale will take us underground to a lost city underneath Mt Shasta. The home of what? We can only imagine. This isn't a story of hidden treasure or ancient artifacts, but an entire city lost to time, waiting to be rediscovered beneath the mountain's rocky exterior. So sit back, relax, and kindly hit that like and subscribe button as we set off on our journey into the heart of Mt Shasta. In the year 1904, a man named J.C. Brown was employed by the Lord Caudray Mining Company of London. His mission was to prospect for gold in Northern California region, a land known for its gold rush in the mid-19th century. Little did he know that the quest for gold would lead him to a discovery that would become the stuff of legends. J.C. Brown was an experienced prospector. He had an eye for detail and a knack for finding what others couldn't. As he was investigating the area around Mt Shasta, he'd noticed something unusual. There was a piece of rock that seemed out of place. Different from its surroundings, it was as if it was hinting at a secret waiting to be discovered. Driven by curiosity and the prospect of discovery, Brown began to clear the debris and vegetation that surrounded the rock. As he dug deeper, he found a hole that led into the mountain. It wasn't just a small crevice, but a gateway into a vast cavern system that led into the heart of Mt Shasta. With a torch in one hand and a sense of adventure in his heart, Brown decided to explore the cavern. He journeyed into the mountain, navigating through an intricate network of tunnels that seemed to have been deliberately constructed. The further he went, the more he realized this was no ordinary cave system. As he ventured deeper into the mountain, he began to find traces of gold. This was not surprising given his original mission, but what he found next was beyond anyone's wildest imagination. After journeying about 11 miles into the mountain, he stumbled upon what appeared to be an ancient lost city. This was the moment of discovery, the moment when J.C. Brown realized that he had stumbled upon something extraordinary, something that would forever be etched in the annals of Mt Shasta's legends. J.C. Brown, now standing at the entrance of the vast underground city, was about to embark on a journey that would take him deeper into the heart of Mt Shasta. With a torch in one hand and a pickaxe in the other, he stepped into the unknown, leaving the world as he knew it behind. We've heard this tale before in our video on Shina-Av. Could these somehow be connected? What do you think? The cavern was dark, the only light coming from the flickering flame of his torch. The air was cool and damp, a stark contrast to the dry heat of the California landscape above. As he ventured further into the cavern, he could hear the echo of his footsteps bouncing off the walls, a constant reminder of the solitude that surrounded him. The cavern system was a maze of tunnels, each one leading deeper into the mountain. It was as if he was walking through the veins of the earth, a network of passages carved out over millennia. Despite the darkness and the complexity of the tunnels, Brown pressed on, driven by a sense of curiosity and the thrill of discovery. As he journeyed deeper into the mountain, he began to notice something unusual. He was finding traces of gold. This was not alluvial gold, the kind typically found in rivers, but the gold that appeared to have been worked, shaped by intelligent hands. This was his first clue that he was not alone. The others had been here before him. The pieces of gold became more frequent. It was as if he was following a trail, a path laid out by those who had come before him. A path taking him deeper into this forgotten city. This magnificent city was unlike anything he had ever seen. There were buildings and structures, all made of stone and adorned with intricate carvings. There were rooms filled with gold and copper tablets, statues of unknown figures, and spears that looked as if they were made for giants. And then there were skeletons. Human skeletons that were much larger than any man Brown had ever seen. Giant skeletons and weapons, gold artifacts, and more? This feels a lot like the legend of Shina-Av. Shina-Av and Mt Shasta, where this was supposedly found, are only 571 miles apart. Could this all be related? Could the same ancient people have built both? Let's talk about it in the comments. As he explored the city, he couldn't help but wonder about its inhabitants. Who were they? What were their lives like? And why had they chosen to build this city beneath the mountain? These were questions that Brown could not answer, but the city itself was proof of their existence. The journey had taken him deep into the mountain, into a world that time had forgotten, but this was just the beginning. The city was vast, and there was much more to explore. And so, with a sense of awe and wonder, J.C. Brown continued his journey, delving deeper into the mysteries of the underground city beneath Mt. Shasta. The discovery of the underground city beneath Mt. Shasta was a life-changing experience for J.C. Brown. He stumbled upon a world that was thought to only exist in myths and legend. But this was real and tangible. He had seen it with his own eyes, touched it with his own hands. However, Brown knew that a discovery of this magnitude was too significant to be kept secret. He knew that the world needed to know about this underground city and its ancient inhabitants, and so he made it his mission to share his discovery with the world. For the next 30 years, Brown dedicated his life to researching the underground city. He studied the artifacts he had found, trying to decipher the inscriptions on the gold and copper tablets. He examined the skeletons, marveling at their size and speculating about the race of giants that once inhabited the city. But Brown knew he couldn't do it alone. He needed a team of experts to help him explore the city further and understand its historical and archaeological significance. And so he set out to build a team of archaeologists, historians, and other experts who shared his passion for discovery. By the time he was 79 years old, Brown had managed to gather a group of about 80 people. This group included a museum curator, several scientists, and other individuals who were intrigued by Brown's discoveries and willing to contribute to the expedition. Despite extensive searches and investigations, Brown was never found. His disappearance remains a mystery till this day. Some speculate he was a con artist who had fabricated the entire story. Others believe that he was silenced by those who wanted to keep the existence of the underground city a secret. The aftermath of Brown's discovery and subsequent disappearance add another layer of mystery to the legend of Mt. Shasta. It left us with more questions than answers. What happened to J.C. Brown? Was the underground city real? Or was it just a figment of Brown's imagination? And if it was real, what secrets did it hold? We now leave behind Mr. Brown and find another legend that has captivated minds for centuries, the legend of Telos, a hidden city believed to be nestled beneath the mountain peaks. Could this city be the same one found and spoken of by J.C. Brown? Telos, often referred to as the City of Light, is said to be the haven for the Lemurians, the advanced beings from the lost continent of Lemuria. These beings are described as being 7 feet tall, with long flowing hair, often seen clad in robes and sandals. The city itself is believed to be a complex system of tunnels with jeweled walls and fur-carpeted floors. Telos, the City of Light, governed by a council of 12 ascended masters and its high priest Adama. The name of Telos means communication with spirits. The domed city is alleged to have 5 levels. The first level, with a temple that holds 50,000 people, is a center of education, administration, and commerce. Other structures include government buildings, entertainment facilities, schools, circular houses, manufacturing plants, and hydroponic gardens for growing food. According to some theorists, Telos has 1.5 million technologically advanced descendants. The inhabitants speak Solomaru, allegedly the root language for Sanskrit and Hebrew. People's average height is 6.5 to 7.5 feet, and they live up to 1,000 years. Now, you may be asking yourself, who the hell are the Lemurians? And I would totally understand. So let's talk a little bit about the Lemurians, and you let me know what you folks think. Lemuria, also known as Mu, is a mythical lost continent, believed to have existed millions of years ago and sunk beneath the Indian Ocean. The concept of Lemuria was first proposed in 1864 by a British zoologist Philip Sclater as an explanation for the presence of lemur fossils in Madagascar and the Indian subcontinent, but not in Africa or the Middle East. The Lemurians, the supposed inhabitants of this lost continent, are often depicted as highly advanced beings. Descriptions portray them as 7 feet tall beings, often seen clad in white robes and sandals. They are said to have developed a sophisticated, yet albeit decadent and corrupt civilization, participating in black magic and idolatry. The legend of Lemuria was further popularized by Helen Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy in the late 19th century. She claimed that Lemuria was the homeland of human ancestors, who she called Lemurians. Her writings had a significant impact on Western esotericism, popularized by the myth of Lemuria and its mythical inhabitants. In the 1870s, mystic James Churchward postulated Lemuria as a lost continent and the former home of the advanced human race. He believed Lemuria was a paradise with over 64 million people at its peak. He purported that the inhabitants lived to be hundreds of years old and were capable of teleportation, telepathy, and astral travel. Well, hell, wouldn't that be nice? Despite the scientific community's acceptance of plate tectonics and continental drift in the 20th century, which rendered the theories of Lemuria untenable, the idea of Lemuria lived on in the popular imagination, especially in relation to the Theospian tradition. The idea of Lemuria was incorporated into the philosophy of Theosophia and has persisted as a theme in the discussion of lost lands. While modern science has long since debunked the idea of Lemuria altogether, in 2013, geologists discovered evidence of a lost continent, precisely where Lemuria was said to have existed, and the old theories started cropping up once again. Whether these legends hold any truth or are merely the project of imaginative minds, they continue to captivate us, reminding us of the mysteries that our world holds, waiting to be discovered. And so, we come to the end of our journey into the heart of Mt Shasta. A journey that has taken us through time and space, through history and legend, through fact and fiction. We've explored the tale of J.C. Brown and his discovery of the underground city, a tale that continues to captivate and intrigue us. But Mt Shasta is not just about J.C. Brown or the underground city. It's a place that is steeped in mystery and lore, a place that has been the setting for countless other tales. These stories, these legends, they add to the mysteries of Mt Shasta. They make us question our understanding of the world and challenge us to look beyond the surface. They remind us that the world is full of mysteries, full of stories waiting to be discovered. As we close this chapter, we can't help but wonder what other secrets Mt Shasta holds. What other stories are waiting to be told? What other legends are waiting to be discovered? But the mountain stands tall and silent, a sentinel guarding its secrets, inviting us to explore, to discover, to learn. Thank you for joining us on this journey, looking into some of the lore of Mt Shasta. We hope you enjoyed this exploration as much as we did. We hope it sparked your curiosity, ignited your imagination, and left you with a sense of wonder and awe. But our journey does not end here. There are many more legends to explore, many more stories to tell. So stay tuned for more episodes of Legends and Lore, where we bring the mysteries of the world to your screen. Until then, this is Chris for Legends, Lore, and You. Stay curious, stay inspired, and as always, happy storytelling.